Hello to all my stamping friends. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, April the 8th of 2025 when I'm filming this. You may be watching this on the replay or you may be watching it live. But hello and thanks for stopping by to craft along with me. I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, independent Stampin' demonstrator coming to you from Southeast Iowa. It is a beautiful day here in Iowa. As you jump on, say hi. Let me know that you're here. I am going to find out if anyone's joining me, but I have to do a couple clicks. And let's see. I am not quite there yet. Hello, Christina, and welcome. Your prize is in the mail. I sent it a little bit later than I had planned to. Um, but yeah, that's sometimes what happens, right? But I'm glad you're joining me. Hey there, how is the weather where you're at? I hope it's a nice day. I think we're going to have rain tomorrow. I have most of the products I'm using today are on the last chance list. And what that means is that these are going to be retiring. They're going to be on a last chance list until they're sold out, and then they're gone. Thanks, Christina. And then they're gone and they won't be back. Now, not all of the products are discounted, but a lot of them are. And I'm going to be using four products today that are on the last chance list, and all of them are discounted, and they're all some of my favorite products. So I wanted to share those with you to let you know, and it's really easy to find when you go onto the my online store. You'll just look for last chance or special. Look for specials. It's last chance. It used to be called clearance, but it has been refreshed at the beginning of the month with all the items from the mini catalog as well as the annual catalog, as well as the online exclusives that are going to be leaving us. So you might find some good some good products. I know you'll find good products, but you also might find some that are discounted. But again, not all of them are. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button. If you click that bell, you'll be notified. And if you're watching this on Facebook, give me a like, please. And the best way to know what's going on at Rustic Barn Cards is to be part of my email newsletter. So you in the description, you can sign up to be on that list because my email subscribers always hear what's going on first before everybody else. But 80s and 90s, oh, it sounds wonderful, although that might be too warm. I'm not sure. Oh, you had tons of rain. Oh, I'm so glad that you're not flooded, but my heart goes out to everyone who is in the area where all the floods are taking place. It's just horrendous. And I was once, my house was flooded one time. It's been several years ago. So I just think back to that and my heart does go out to everyone. But I am so glad that you're not flooded and your home is still okay. All right, I'm going to turn the camera down and we're going to go ahead and do some crafting. I have a tri-fold card today and it's really easy, quick and easy because that's kind of what I do, right? All right, let me go ahead and flip the camera. And then I will be giving prizes out. Well, this is our card. I guess yes, it is so sad. Hello, Judy. Good to see you. Well, I wasn't going to show this right this second, but I guess I will because it's laying right here, right? So this is our trifold card that we're going to make today. And it opens up and wait, and it opens up again. That's why it is a trifold card. All right. And so again, most of the products we are going to use are going to be discounted. Hello, Judy Newquist. No wind. We like when there's no wind here in Iowa, don't we? That is for sure. All right. Well, I'm going to be using the stamp set, Everyday Details, and this is on the last chance list, and it is discounted. It was $24, but you can purchase this for $14.40, and it was still in the last chance as this morning. And this is the number, and it is on page 110 in the annual catalog. But I did want to show you, if you go to look for everyday details on page 110, and this is our annual catalog, so this is the one you'd look at. When you go to 110, it doesn't, oh, just a minute. I don't know why that's doing. All right, there we go. All right. I don't know why my, as you what? Tap on where you're watching from, and if you're watching. Okay, let's see. Just a second here, because my phone is, I don't know. That's not even from today. Okay, my phone has the mind of its own. I had it on silent even. Anyway, on page 110, it just has the everyday details listed with the number, but it doesn't really show it. So I just want to tell you, but you can get the number from in here, or you can just search for it. All right, so we're going to be using this. We're going to be using some designer series paper. And how many of us don't we have lots of designer series paper? And I'm going to be using some that's going to be retiring, or it's on the last chance list. Now, this is our 2024 to 2026 in color. The 24 to 26 in colors are not retiring. The paper that matches those in colors are retiring, just the paper, because we're going to have some new paper. We're going to get some new paper that will go with our 24 to 2026 in colors, which are Summer Splash, Shy Shamrock, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, and I may have missed one, but we have 5 of in colors that we'll be carrying over for another year. So this paper is just, I really like it. And as you can see, I have 2 packs, right? But it was regularly $12.50 and it is $7.50. So again, I love this paper, and it's two-sided, and here is 163, if you can't see it, 163778, and it is on page 98 of the annual catalog. And so you get like get 4 sheets of each color and 2 of each design. Anyway, check it out. So again, it is $7.50 discounted, and it's on page 98 in the annual catalog. And then I just wanted to I'm not using this paper, I'm not using the subtles, but I did want to tell you that we have the designer series paper, the same designs, but in all the families. So like, for example, this subtles paper, um, it is discounted to $10. Okay, so this is discounted to $10, but then we have Regals that has the same design but different colors, and it's discounted to $8.75. So the 6x6 paper, it's a great deal. It's a great price. We all love bargains, right? Okay, so there's a couple other things we're going to use, but I'm just going to get started and I'll share those as we go. So again, this is the card that we're going to make, only I'm going to make today's card in the same designer series paper, only I'm going to use a different color. This is in Peach Pie. So this is Peach Pie. So I am going to bring in 2 card bases. And so you'll need just 2 card bases cut at a regular 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4.25. Okay, so I am going to add adhesive on the inside of one of the card bases. Yes, 2 Judys here, Judy Poole and Judy Newquist. Okay, so I'm just going to add some adhesive. I'm going to be using my green adhesive. Now I'm not going all the way to the edge. I mean, I'm going a little bit, but then. And then I'm going to take this card and I'm going to add the front of this card to the inside of this card, okay? And try not to get my head in the camera because I want to kind of tip it up and line it up the best I can. And then I kind of want to just look, kind of make sure. And then press that. And here we have the base of our card. Here's our trifold. So that was easy, right? Now, this card does take quite a bit of designer series paper. So, but we have a lot. So you can use any designer series paper. Um, I'm going to be using Summer Splash, but I just wanted to show you, since I've already cut that Summer Splash up, you need 4 6x6 designer series paper. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the back of it, and then I'm going to use these two patterns. Only I'm going to use it in Summer Splash instead of Petunia Pop, and this is Petunia Pop. But I have already cut everything that we need. So I have these two. I have scrap. We're going to do some stamping. And you'll need 2 Summer Splash cardstock or whatever cardstock that you use. And this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And you need 2 of those. And then you're going to need 2 designer series paper exactly alike. And they are 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need another piece of designer series paper for the back, and it's also 4 by 5 1/4. So you need 3 of cut at 4 and 5 1/4 of the DSP. And then you're going to have another designer series paper that's a little bit smaller. This is 3 3/4 by 5. So it's a little bit longer, but it's not quite as wide. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to layer this right on. We're going to layer the designer series paper that is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 right into our Summer Splash cardstock layer. And then we're going to do some stamping. Now today I'm going to stamp on designer series paper. Have you tried that before? I love stamping on designer series paper. We're also going to be using some blends, and they are not discounted, and they're not on the, and they are current. They are not on, well, I'll take that back. I think I may be using at least one blend that is going to be leaving us because it's an in color that's retiring. And I did not look it up to see if it's discounted or not. All right, so now we're going to add this to the front of our card. Don't forget to stay with me to the end. We do barn chats. And that's when I'll be giving the prizes away from last week for leaving a comment, sharing my video. Don't forget when you share my video to make sure you let me know. Sometimes I can see who shares and then sometimes I can't. So, all right. So now we are going to do some stamping. So I'm going to move all of this out of the way. And we are going to bring in the Mental Black ink. And we are going to stamp these flowers and the little pot. I really like this stamp set. And this is kind of a large stamp. I'm just going to take my ink to the stamp. Now I'm going to be die cutting this out, and so I want to make sure I have plenty of room for my die. So I'm just going to kind of stamp it in the middle. And then I'm going to be using peach pie. I'm going to be using summer splash, and then copper clay. Copper clay is one of our colors that are leaving. So if you like copper clay, you might want to check and see if you can get cardstock and the ink, maybe even the blends. And like I said, I did not look to see about the copper clay, whether it was discounted or not. All right, so we are going to go ahead and start with the dark summer splash. And I am just going to go over those lines that Stampin' Up! Has already given us. And I'm going to do that on the flowers. And then I'm just going to kind of put a little dot. There's some small flowers there. And then I'm going to come back with the light. Hello, Lola. And then, now what I have them, not the bullet, so the other end. There's probably a proper name for that. Although you could use the bullet, but I'm just going to fill that in. I'll tell you, the blends make you look like you're an artist. That's why I love the blends. Now you could use our markers. Our markers are great too. And since this is red rubber, the stamp set, the stamps are red rubber, you could even use you can't use the alcohol markers, but you could use, you can't use the blends, but you can use the markers and color on the red rubber stamp, I'm trying to say, and you get different colors that way. I'm not going to color all of those in. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. And where the cap went, oh, there it is. Not sure how I could lose something quite so quick. Then I'm going to take a the light peach pie. I was going to just leave those leaves and not color them at all, but we'll go ahead and just going to kind of go over the little lines that are there on the leaves. So I'm not really going to color them all the way in with the peach pie. Just give it a little bit of color, and I'm using light. Okay, so yeah, so that's just kind of just like that. I think that's fine. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the light copper clay. I think it's a pretty color for our pot. I'm going to color that rim. You can make there's a little rim there. You can make it a different color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of outline it first. And I'm just going to turn that. It makes it easier. So I kind of have the outline. So that way I can just fill in the middle. And I don't have to worry about trying to go out of the lines that way. Then I'm going to come back with the dark copper clay. I'm going to wait just a second. And I'm not able to zoom, but I wish I was. But so I'm going to do some shading. And by that, I'm just going to add a little dark here on the side. Okay. And then I'm just going to just just do this little darker, just like right there. Then I'm going to come back with the light. I'm going to come back with the light copper clay, and then I'm going to spread it across. So I'm going to pick up this dark, and I might just leave that. But I'm not going to color all of it. So I'm kind of going to kind of make it, bring it up so you can see. So I'm leaving, I don't know if you can, I'm leaving a little spot. There, maybe a little bit. You can see just a little spot there that I didn't do that second coat on. And I just think it makes the pot look a little more natural. Okay. And then I'm using stylish shapes, which are not leaving. These are not on the last chance, thank goodness, because I love my stylish shapes. I use them all the time. So this is a square, but I am going to make it so like it's a rectangle. Now, you're right. I'm not going to be able to have the entire uh, everything shown. I'm going to cut off some of it using this. This is next to the smallest square in the stylish shapes. Now, if you use the largest, you'll get something like this. My only thought was when I use this on here, it will fit, but, and you might like it better, but I like the next to the smallest one better. So I decided to cut off some of it, and I think it still looks just fine. So we would do this and run it through the cut and emboss machine, and then I already have that done. Okay, and then our sentiment we're going to use is you make every day a little brighter. And I've already stamped that and it's ready to go. And it is cut at 3/4 by 3 3/4. So 3 1/4, so 3/4 by 3 3/4 or 3 3/4. All right, so let's go ahead and, oh, yeah, we have more and more stamping to do. We need a little more stamping. So I'm going to bring in, this is the back of this paper. So we're going to do a little stamping here. And we're going to stamp this nest onto our designer series paper. And I'll just kind of do it like about right in the middle, just like that. And then I am going to come back with some of our blends. So I'm going to be using the light Summer Splash, and then we're going to go ahead and color our eggs in. Now I could just leave this nest just like it is, and with the eggs in there, and I wouldn't have to do any coloring. But just like that. Then I'm going to come back with the dark, and I'm going to kind of shade that in. And then I'm going to come back with the light copper clay. And then I'm also going to use our light peach pie for, for the leaves. So there's some little leaves here, so I'm just going to kind of color those in. And then with the light. So I'm just going to kind of just do lines like this. Now you can color it all in, but I'm just going to kind of do it like this. And we just color that. Yeah. So there you go. And if you wanted to, you could color more of it in, but I'm just kind of following some of those lines. Now we're going to be ready to put our card together. Thanks, Christina. I'm glad that you like it. Okay, so this is the front of our card. We're going to open it inside, and we're going to put the two matching designer series paper, one on each side. And remember, these designer series paper are 4 by 5 1/4. I think I will be using the trimmer because I think my basic white maybe isn't cut at the right, but we'll worry about it when we need it. This goes over clear here on the other side. Trying to kind of eyeball it. And then I'm going to set this aside because I have my other Summer Splash cardstock, and this is looking at my, well, it is 4 by 5 1/4. And so, but I need my basic white. I need to cut it down because I want my basic white to be 5 because it needs to be just a little bit shorter. And so it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5, where my Summer Splash is 4 by 5 1/4. And now they should match up. Now you could most certainly stamp on this basic white before you add it to your Summer Splash. Bring your card back, and then this is going to go right in the middle for you to leave your message. And that one in the middle, just like this. Here's the front, here's the inside, and then we're going to add this designer series paper that we stamped on right here. And notice that, yes, when you use your blends, it does bleed through, but that's okay because we are going to be adding adhesive and you won't see the back side, right? So we'll get this lined up. Now let's go ahead and add our dimensionals. We're going to be using some gems and some ribbon that are on the last chance list, and they are both discounted price-wise. Again, these are some of my favorite things. Well, I have others too, but I decided to choose these today of my favorite. And I often like to just put one in the middle, just so it doesn't kind of, sag, sag down. So we'll take these backings off. And then I am going to place my sentiment. I haven't taken the backings off, so I can place it kind of like where I think I want it to go. And then I have room. Then I know I have room where I want to add the flower pot image. Okay, trying to, you want to get those triangles so they, and so the way I cut it, you have a little bit more space here than you do here, but that's okay because I'm going to add a couple of embellishments and it'll work out just fine. But the reason I did that is because I wanted to be able to have more of the flower pot and the flowers. Let me bring that up right underneath, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in this ribbon. Whoop. And the ribbon is white 3/8 of frayed ribbon. The item number is 164205, and it's been $8 and it is now $4. It was an online exclusive. Okay, so here is the ribbon, and so it's just frayed at the top and frayed at the bottom. And then what I did, and what you can do, I used the dark Summer Splash, and I used not the bold end, but the other end. And then I just held it, and then I just colored. Okay, and then if you want to do the frayed end, I found that if you put your thumb and your finger, like each side kind of holds that down, and you can also do the frayed end. And then you let it dry. And then you will have Summer Splash. Because on our sample card, I did the same thing with the white ribbon, only I used my peach pie blend. So with white ribbon, you can have it any color that you want because you can use your blends to color it. Get it like we want. See if I want it a little bit smaller. We can cut those tails off in just a little bit. I'm going to put it right there, but I feel like, whoop, this needs to be just a little bit larger. Okay, let me bring in the glue dots. And then I am going to take my bow and I'm going to bring it to the glue dot right in the middle. And then I'm going to place my ribbon right there. I'm going to bring in my snips. And then I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool. And I'm going to pick up another dot with that pointy end. And I'm going to place it under here just because I would like make sure the bow is attached well. Especially if you're going to send your card in the mail, then you want it to make sure that it's attached. All right, now I'm going to bring in these embellishments, and these are 2024, 2026 in color shimmer gems. And you can see that they're my favorite because they're almost gone, right? So, you know, you have the peach pie, you have shy shamrock, summer splash, petunia pop, pretty and pink. I think pretty and pink was the one I forgot earlier. We only have, it's going to work out great. We only have two of the summer splash left. I'm going to use my putty end. I'm going to take your pick tool and I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put it right here on the left of our flower image. And then since we used peach pie, then I am going to pick up one of the peach pies and put it up here. Now, the in color shimmer gems are on discounted to $7.65. And if you want to look at them, they are in the annual catalog on page 115. Okay, so this is our card. You make every day a little brighter, opens up, and then you put your message inside. So here are two trifold cards, very easy to make. I use some of my favorite items that are on the discounted, on the last chance, but all the items I use today are also discounted in price, even though not everything in the last chance list is. So let me know, do you like the peach pie or do you like the summer splash the best? Okay, well, I hope you like this card. It is time for barn chats where it's a little more casual. I'll give out some prizes. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on in the Rustic Barn cards, at Rustic Barn cards. And one thing that's going on is my April Club, Rustic Ink Creations, is open now, and it closes at midnight on April 15th. So, hi, Twyla. You like the Summer Splash the best? Well, thank you for letting me know. And I thought it might be fun to kind of show it in two different colors. So I'm going to tell you about my April Club really quick, and then I'm going to share the prizes from last week. So Club is a monthly subscription. You get 6 cards, 2 each of 3 designs. So you get a make and take. You get $22 to $25 a product. So kind of think consumables like paper, um, embellishments, ribbon, kind of things like that, although it can be a little bit different. The month of April, I'm going to be using 3 inks. You can use whatever you have. I'm going to be using black. I'm going to be using Petunia Pop, and I'm going to be using Old Olive. And the bundle that I'm going to be using, because I always have a bundle, and you always know ahead of time what bundle in case you want to suspend or cancel. But I'm going to be using the Meant to Be, and it has dies to go with it. And if you have not seen these dies, they're awesome. They're awesome. Now, I do most of the die cutting for you, but if you have to do stamped images and then die cut, I can't stamp for you. So you really do need that die set to be able to die cut. I'll do the hives, but there's some images that you need to stamp and then die cut. All right, if you're ready, I'll show you a sneak peek of the cards. If you don't want to see them ahead of time, if you're a club member and you like surprises, then don't look, right? So we have this card here. It says, Love This Life. I think these cards are so bright and cheerful. And then we have Cute as Can Be, which it opens up. And then our last card is a fun fold and it has a belly band. Thanks, Twyla. Thanks for stopping by. And then it opens up like this. So there, Bobby, your favorite stamp set. I know, I love that stamp set too. I really do. And how you doing, Bobby? So that's my club. And there's more information in the description. But let's give out prizes, right? All right. Okay, we want to give out prizes. So this is for last week for April 1st, and this is no April Fool's. The winner of the random drawing for leaving a comment um, last week is Judy Newquist from Iowa. And Judy, I think you're on here, so congratulations. And this is a package of embellishments, and these are earth tone. These are earth tone embellishments. So those will get in the mail to you this week. And then thank you to Susan Barnhart from Maine. And Susan was the winner of the random drawing for sharing my video. And I do have your address, Susan, so thank you. And this will get out in the mail to you. And then the winner of the random drawing for ordering this week or this last week was Karen Monroe of Iowa. And this is a package of hand-pinned memories and more cards, and also the matching envelopes that go with it. Okay. So thanks to everyone. And again, if you shared my video, just make sure that you put in the comments that you shared it so I can make sure that you're in for a drawing. All right. Well, I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Thank you for being here. Um, and give this trifold fun card a try. That was a tongue twister. All right. Take care. Have a blessed week. Bye.